What's up, everybody? Welcome back.
pdExes.
Episode 19.
Is it 19?
It's crazy.
Damn.
I say that every episode, but it is crazy.
Yes.
I'm excited for episode 20.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Typing in a new number will be fun.
020.
Look at us go.
I know. And then one day we'll be like, episode 100.
I was listening to My Favorite Murder. I love their minisodes, and I listened to their 100th minisode, and it was really
yeah?
cute because they're like 300 minisodes
Yeah,
in now.
yeah.
So when you listen to those landmark ones, they're like, I can't believe we did that. And I'm like in the shower washing my hair, and I'm like, oh my God, we're almost at 20. I'm like, look at us go. We're almost there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's 52 weeks in a year. So, I mean, it's basically 50 weeks if we do it every week for a year. So, I mean, that's
Ew.
2 years worth, unless we start doing like some whatever double
Yes.
weekly, whatever.
Double duty. Yes.
But it's hard. I mean, an hour episode a week, and we usually film extra. And so
Yes.
like editing and
Yes.
posting, and then like,
I have no idea what any of that is.
but yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yep.
People listening, if you're in your car or taking a dump,
Yep.
or taking a dump in your car because you have bad anal,
It was you were going so good until you went for the
I went brown. Well, I pooped my pants several times, and one time I don't like pooping at work, and sometimes that'll make drive home a little complicated,
a little dicey. Okay. See, does Nordstrom's have a men's lounge, or is it only a women's lounge at Nordstrom's?
I don't know. I've never.
So we're very
I've never been.
luxe. We're very luxury. So I thought we're very luxury. But I'll send people to women will ask, where's your restroom? And we have a restroom in store, but with the pandemic, it's just for us.
Right.
Because we have to wash our hands so much. Main restroom is, the mall bathroom,
Yeah.
the radioactive.
yeah,
yes.
that's
Mall
insane.
bathroom. And I always ask people, do you want a public bathroom, or can I send you to the women's lounge in Nordstrom's? And they're like, oh, Nordstrom's. I'm like, yeah, down to the right. Take another right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if Nordstrom's has a nice little men's lounge, because you could go in there and have your nice little bathroom time, and no one would know. And it's
No
nice
way.
and
I'm not
ritzy.
walking to fucking Nordstrom.
Yeah, you would rather just
I would rather
take your
hold it
hot
in.
rocket home.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would rather hold it in.
You would like to
and
play Frogger with your
cramp.
bowels on the
Yeah.
way home.
Yeah, for
Yes.
real. Yeah. One time, I can't remember what I was doing. I think I got done working, or I was downtown. I remember I was like driving home, and yeah, I like pooped my pants while I was like driving. And my brother lives in between here, like my work and my house.
Twin brother's like halfway. He's the halfway
and I just remember, I think I just thought I could do a better job of like holding it in, and I didn't. And so I was just like, I called him. I was like, I have to come by your house. Like, I pooped my pants, and just went in, and I think I just like got right in the shower. It was bad. It was so bad. It's embarrassing. You know what? Everybody has pooped their pants.
Yeah, at some point.
And some people will be like, I have never done it. I've never. And I'm like,
some people will do it at Disneyland at your wedding.
bitch. Oh, bitch, I forgot, bitch.
Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, yeah. I remember I was downtown walking with friends, and we were going to like Powell's Books or something. And we were like walking around. We did a bunch of different stops, and somebody was like, oh, we got to get to Powell's, whatever. And I took like the long way, and they were like, him and this guy were just like, they're being really weird, but I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, well, we'll go this way, and we'll go up here, and we'll go over because it's cute.
Yes.
And I didn't realize the guy had to take a shit. And he pooped his pants en route.
Because you were trying to take him on the scenic
it's not my
route?
fault. I mean, like, I think we went like a couple blocks out of the way. I was like, oh, there's a bathroom at Powell's. Had I known.
Yes, had he
needed
been
to
like,
poop,
I'm going
I'd have been like,
yes.
I got some spots we could go. But I was like, oh, Powell's. And it was like, it was probably a few more blocks than I planned. And
Right.
I was like, oh, where did so-and-so go? And he's like, oh, he had to go home. So that accident. I was like, oh, man.
Yikes.
When I worked downtown, our place had like one stall and one urinal. That was kind of it. And so like you didn't have like any options. If someone was in there, you were just like, I guess I'll wait.
Or I guess I'll poop. Is that how people poop in the urinal?
I guess so. But yeah.
If you had to like go that bad?
Yeah, that would be weird. But I mean, I could see that happening.
As a woman, I'm just like, I poop
But
in the
yeah,
garbage, I guess.
sometimes I'm like, I'll be fine. And
I peed my pants in the car, not somewhat recent, but more recent than I would like to admit, just because I was on my way home from work from closing the bar down.
right.
And I wanted to get the fuck out of there. And I was on my way home. And it was like once I was on I-5 headed down, I had to piss. And I knew I wasn't going to make it. Uh-huh. So now I'm like a child. So now every time I go to leave anywhere, whether it's a work, here, job, I'm like, do I have to pee? Am I going to get stuck in traffic?
Yeah.
Because when I lived downtown and didn't have like my own parking space, you would be looking for parking for 20 minutes.
That's
what are you
true.
going to do? Like, you going to piss yourself or have to like turn your hazards on and illegally park and run inside just to pee?
Yeah.
So then I can come back out and like park my car without feeling like I'm fucking white knuckle, like I'm going to piss myself. Ugh.
Yeah. It's funny because you always kind of have an idea of like what your genital situation is going to be.
Yes.
And you get
Turnover time, the turnaround
Yeah, it's
time.
always giving you signals and you're like, it's fine. Like somebody's coming down, they're like, sir, we have to go to the bathroom. And you're like, not now. And kick him out of the office. And he comes back and he's like, sir, we really have to go. And he's like, I'm busy. I'm trying to talk to my friends at work. And I don't want to go to the bathroom at work. I'll just wait till I get home. And then all the steam's coming out of all the pipes in the body, you know,
The boilers,
everything's everything's
boilers
shaking. And sir, I have to, and they go, and be like, what happened?
I mean, as a girl, there are certain sensations where you're like, one, I either just started my period or like, ooh, I need to go like figure out my tampon situation. And being a girl and navigating all of that is so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird because I remember going on a volleyball trip with my team and somehow we all got on our period at the same time.
That happens. Girls that live together.
Girls sync up. But I mean, imagine our parents, man, you got 12 girls who were all just PMSing and we're all just mean and hungry and trying to play volleyball. And I just remember it was we were just so fucking agitated.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm. And then your regular period will like sync up. So then I had like a 2-week period.
Oh, ew. Mm-hmm. So you get like bonus period?
Mm-hmm. Or it's, because as at least mom explained it to me, your ovaries go like this. 1 month is this one. One month is this one. So you can have one go, but then what if this one comes a little early? So now you have a little bit of overlap. So it's going to be a lot longer than normal.
Weird.
Because I remember going on a volleyball trip and then going on like a family reunion like right after. And I was on my period for 2 weeks and it was miserable. And it was like one of like my first like real ones where it wasn't just a little like pepper shaker. It was like water balloon.
That
not great.
Sucks. Girls should get more time off just for their periods.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not easy. I mean, there are some days like with my birth control, it feels like electric shocks. Like it is so painful. It makes me weak in the knees where I have to crouch down at work. Dang. That's how painful it is.
I think gay men should also get time off just for all the butt sex we have to endure.
I mean, I get where you're going. I feel it is inclusive.
I don't know if we can. Can we get this AOC? Can you help with this?
Can you get this fast track?
We need girls need time off recovery. Girls need time off for periods. Boys need time off for fuck recovery.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Got to change the system.
Oh, you know what I've been seeing on TikTok? I try not to do TikTok very often, but when I'm on it, one of the ones I saw was this guy was rating, or like people are going into their date's bathroom. So whether it's a guy going into a girl's bathroom or a girl, the first ones I saw were girls going into frat boys' bathrooms.
Oh,
and like, tell me all the red flags or like all of that stuff. Oh, I'm here for all of that. Tinks actually was the one, if I'm not mistaken, who gave the idea to have like a spend the night pouch in your car.
Oh, right.
And I was like, and it's not what you think it would be. It's not like extra panties. It's a fucking paper towel. It's a face wipe. It's like a couple things where she was like, when you have a stay the night hangover at someone's house,
right.
She goes, you wake up in the morning. The last thing you ever want to do is use any of the towels or anything that's in that fucking room. Do not wipe your hands. Do not wipe your face.
Yeah.
Those are all probably cum rags that no one wants to admit that is a cum rag. So you just in there like, okay, I'll be right out, grandson. Let me just dry my hands off. Now grandma's got cum all over her hands because she's using the frat bathroom. Like, gross. couple things. So it was like that.
Yeah.
There's like a little thing of face wash. So as a girl, you always get like free samples. So in my car, I mean, it's not that I would use it now because I have my Pete Davidson, but like I used to have like a condom, face wash, like a paper towel square.
Right,
but then it got to the point where I was like, oh, I don't have to date frat boys. Check.
Yeah. Yeah. Staying at people's houses can be kind of wild. Yeah. I had hooked up with this dude and like there was like dog hair like everywhere. Like it was wild. He's a very nice guy, but like there was just dog hair everywhere. And then like
scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like hoarders.
Like a 9.
No, bitch.
Well, like he wasn't like a hoarder, but
10
like,
would be like off the fucking charts. Like, so you're saying 9.
it was okay. It
Really?
wasn't okay. Dirtiness, it was pretty dirty, but like it could have been like, oh, my grandpa died here and then I just like moved in, you know what I mean? But it also could have been like, I've been living here forever.
Dusty, dirty.
He's had dog hair everywhere. And then the kitchen was just like piles of dishes. Like
that's the biggest turnoff.
It was, I just remember I was just like, dang, it's crazy. And like, we're just fucking like, I don't need to like hang out or anything. But I just remember being like, what is happening? And it was funny because like the dick was good. But I remember I was like
trying to get dog hair out of your mouth.
No, I remember I was like, I'm never going to come back here again. I just can't. And I have really bad allergies. So, you know, I'm just like, this gotta be last time. And then it'd be like 4 months later, I'd be like in the living room again. I'd be like, damn, bitch, he got you.
You got
back
suckered in again for
back
the dick,
again.
bitch.
Yeah, I just remember.
So easy.
But it's weird because everybody has like different like cleanliness levels.
Yes. I think a lot of it obviously has to do with how you're raised.
Yep. And like, you know, if you're just raised somewhere where that wasn't a big deal. It's just odd. I mean, just like dog hair that accumulates.
But the thing is, hold on, we got to look it up. A quick Google search would tell us humans lose 200 million skin cells every hour. So the biggest thing is when you're sleeping, it doesn't matter, dog hair, cat hair, you're leaving like remnants in your sheets, skin, hair, whatever. So imagine if a motherfucker don't wash their sheets for once a year, twice a year, every 6 months.
This is just,
yuck.
Yeah. Well, maybe people just want like physical contact, and that's the best they can get is just like a hug from their self.
That's so fucking gross. I mean, I've had like dirty, gross sheets from me and my Pete Davidson, and I'll just make jokes that I'm leaving him on the bed because I miss him and I want to sleep with him if he's sleeping at his house, and we kind of giggle, but like, yee. I don't think people understand that like you're supposed to wash and launder your sheets, including your pillowcases, once a week.
Yeah.
Once a week, if not twice a week. I remember when I was younger, sitting with mom, and we were watching an Oprah episode. Now, if any of you guys who were born in the 90s around my age or older than me remember this fucking Oprah episode, it was like very early hoarders. And Oprah went in and they had this woman, and I just remember like, I have war flashes of this fucking episode I remember watching with mom. And one of the things was they fucking swabbed her sink, and her sink had more bacteria growing in it than her bathroom toilet. Yuck. Yuck. Oh my God. I'll never forget that. That's probably why I have such a clean sink. And the biggest thing to me is having a clean sanitary sink. Because I remember they swiped it and they showed her just in there like living her life. And she's like, I think peeling carrots or something. And she's got them in the sink. And then they're in like, kind of like, it was like Hoarders and Maury, like if they like combine. So they're like reading the results of the test to her about her house. And they're like, all right, Glenda, we swabbed your sink. And your sink is dirtier than your fucking toilet, you gross ass bitch. Your sink is not
the father.
Yeah, your sink is the father because it's fucking so gross with bacteria. And then as things went on, they're talking about how often you should launder your sheets. And Oprah, at least back in the day, she was self-proclaimed she would have someone change her sheets every 2 days.
Well, of course, she's rich. So
yeah, but she made a very good point. She's like, the first day your sheets feel nice and crispy. She's like, the second day your sheets don't feel as crispy. The third day is when your sheets need to be changed because you have left so much of you in those sheets. It's just new. It's time for a rollover.
That seems a little elitist to me. I mean, yes, clean sheets, but bitch, like, who the fuck is washing their sheets every 3 days? Even if you're fucking on them every 3 days.
Bitch, we have so much sex that it's like absolutely
that's
fucking
fair.
necessary.
But like, I don't know. I just remember they had an episode where they were talking about pillows and they're like, you need to change your pillows out every blah, blah, blah. And,
yeah, new pillows.
you know,
I remember reading something that
when you
said if your
folded it,
pillow
yeah.
doesn't fold, if it doesn't snap back, you need a new pillow.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. I remember going into mom's fucking room and she had body pillows that were like her fucking parents that we folded and they stayed folded and we were like,
yikes.
Garbage.
Yikes.
Because she had, but those are the good body pillows. Those are like the soft, flat, smushy ones that were like really well loved. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Yeah, so for the longest time, okay, so we lived with my grandma for a while. My grandma's Japanese. So she had a guest bedroom and there was a bed in there. And I just ended up taking care of her. So I was just staying in that room on that bed. And nobody really slept on the bed. I mean, she'd have guests here and there, but like she never really slept on the bed. So like it was a new old bed, basically. And I just remember I was like continuing to use this bed at like several different apartments. And I'd have people come over and we'd like hook up. And I'm just like, I have to apologize. This bed is so fucking old. I mean,
yikes.
Like they could have brought this bed over on a fucking wagon. I don't fucking know.
Or Oregon Trail, bitch.
And it wasn't bad. And like with my arthritis and stuff, like it was an okay bed, but it was like a spring bed. I'm trying to make excuses for this fucking bed. It was really bad.
It was really bad.
And then I remember I just eventually I got to a point where I was like, I have to get a new bed. I got a purple mattress and that was good. But like I look back on those moments, I'm like, you were such a loser. But beds are expensive.
Beds are very expensive.
I was like, got my credit to be decent-ish. And then I did like a firm payments or something like that. And so I was paying like $100 a month. And that was not bad, but it wasn't great.
Right.
But like mattresses are really expensive. If you want a good one.
Mattresses are really expensive. There's something you got to save for. I think we got mine at Costco, which was a pretty good deal.
Yeah. You got a Casper.
Yep. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm honestly at this point, we have a lot of sex. I need a king size bed. You want me to be totally honest?
Yeah. Bigger bed's nice.
He's not a big, well, he's a big boy, but he's very tall. So I need an XL bed for my XL man.
That's a thing that everybody should have. You should have a good bed.
Yep. Bed is necessary.
Yeah,
like if you're
good
grumpy,
pillows.
if you're grumpy and irritable, check your bedroom. Like
Also, I have a CPAP now. And for the longest time, I didn't want to get a sleep study. For me, because I do Burning Man. And
okay, here's the thing.
Travel a lot.
If your partner or roommate or parent or anyone in your circle tells you that you snore, you are not allowed to tell them you don't snore.
I always found it to be really funny when people are like, you snore. And you're like, what? No, I don't. It's like, bitch, how do you snore and you're awake at the same time? I remember, so I had been putting it off for a while. I went down to Mexico with a couple friends. They had a restaurant down there and we were all sharing one bed. They had I think the lady that owned the place or whatever had one room. She was like never there, but we weren't allowed to go in that room. And you like can't sleep on the couch or whatever. So we were all three. We're all big, but we're all sleeping in this thing. One of the guys had just gotten a CPAP, and we like slept. And then I woke up in the morning, and the one dude was gone. And I was like, "Oh, what happened?" And he was like, in the morning, he was like, "Your snoring is so bad, I had to leave." And I was like, "Ugh." He's like, "Yeah, like it used to be as bad as his snoring, but he got a CPAP now." And then I was like, "I guess I'll go get that sleep study."
Yeah.
But he went and like had to go sleep because he was just like, it was so bad.
My ex I dated when I moved to San Diego. We never had any issues when he would come visit. But when I was in San Diego and we were living together, we had a king bed. He bought everything brand new.
Right.
And like this motherfucker snored so loud. Like
That's crazy.
he snored so loud. And then it would be like, and there was no, hey, can you roll over? And he'd wake up and fucking scream at me. Why are you waking me up? Like it would just be like a whole, right?
Fuck that.
I'm
bitch.
not
You're
snoring.
Look,
And it would be he was gaslighting me by fucking telling me he didn't snore. And so then when he would snore, I'd record that shit. And I played it for him like the next day, didn't give any context, just played it. And he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh, that's you not snoring." And he didn't like that. But when you take when you take good sleep away from someone, it's really challenging.
Yeah, you need good sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And like people would tell me like I snored. I remember, so I had my tonsils taken out 15 years ago. A long ass time ago.
Very
I had my
long
tonsils
time ago.
taken out. Before that, though, I remember one of my best friends, well, two of my best friends, I was staying at their house and I had fallen asleep and we were watching like The Matrix or some fucking movie. And I remember I woke up early in the morning and my friends were in like, it was like bunk beds. So they were in the top bunk or something. And we were like, late 20s. So we're not kids, whatever. But I remember I overheard them and they were like, we need to smuggle Ryan in his sleep because he's snoring so bad or something like that. It was so funny. And obviously they didn't know I was awake or whatever, but I was just like, ugh, like that's crazy. My snoring is that bad. And I knew it was bad, but like, when you're asleep, you don't know. You're like, oh, I don't know, unless somebody points it out.
But then it's bad because the sleep apnea is where someone snores and then chokes and then stops breathing. Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
That's the phenomenon. If you were if your partner is someone who snores and then gasps and then they wake up, that's sleep apnea.
Well, they don't even wake up. They go...
Yep. They need to take their ass and get a fucking sleep study, get a CPAP, get a new bed. Sleep is important, especially like your sleep time. Like my sleep was so important to me. I had to break up and move home.
Yeah.
That was basically the demise of our relationship. There was no safe space for me to take a nap. There was no safe space. I felt like I was living in his house. I was living in his art museum. Yuck. We had everything had to be modern and everything had to be a vibe. And we had these fucking $10,000 coconut chairs that he had that like literally we ended up putting Tupperware on. I think we've talked about before in the podcast. We have like 20 episodes now. So there's a lot of categories to go through. But like we put shit on top of this, like a Rubbermaid tote on top of his $1,000, $10,000 coconut chairs because the cat wouldn't get off of them.
Yeah, I had friends that were like had CPAPs and stuff. And for me, I was like, well, I don't want to use one because then I'll need one to sleep. I just kind of felt like once you start, then you're hooked on it. But now that I have one, I'm not hooked on it. I can still sleep without it. I just do not get good sleep.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So I'll break this down for everybody. You have to get a doctor that can refer you to get a sleep study. Okay. So you have to just see your regular doctor and be like, yo, bitch, I'm snoring. I need to see somebody. And they will send you to a specialist. And the specialist will do a sleep study, either at home or at a clinic. And with COVID, I don't know if they're doing the clinic ones. And that's what I did. So the clinic, when you go in and you sleep and somebody watches you, they hook all this shit up to you. It's super accurate. They know exactly what's happening, how many occurrences you're having an hour. If you do the at-home one, there's a shit you put on, you do this and you got a little headband or whatever. It's not as accurate, but it's pretty decent. So if that doesn't work, then you have to go in and do the sleep study. Again, I don't know what they're doing with COVID, if they're even letting people spend the nights at these places, but you can do either one. But if you do the at-home one and they're like, hey, we can't really find anything, then you want to get that one where you go to sleep there. Then that also takes a long fucking time. That can take a month or 2 months to just get to that far. Then they have to evaluate all of your sleep results. Then you have to get an appointment with the doctor that you did the sleep study with so they can talk about your results. And then they go, okay, now we can give you a CPAP. There's also surgeries. There's also fucking night guards you can put in that like push your jaw forward and like, fuck all that. Then you have to wait for them to give you a fucking CPAP. And then you have to try out the different masks. So like I went through like 6 masks to figure out which one. I have a beard, so like you can't really do the full nose mouth one where you look like you're in Top Gun. But if you just do the nose one, then sometimes you'll breathe out of your mouth and it just won't work. And so you have to go through all these different masks and then finally you'll find one that works and then you'll be good, but you'll still take it off in the middle of the night. So like when people go like, oh, I'll get it later. It's a long fucking process. I mean, it could take you 3-4 months. Yeah. So like talk to your doctor first, get an appointment or get a referral, see a sleep person, and then you just go through the steps. And like, hopefully you won't need one, but like most of the time, if you're not breathing, you need one. And I had 95 occurrences an hour. That was my average. So 95 times an hour, I was either waking up, not breathing, stopping breathing. 95 times? Like 5, I think they said 5 or to 10 is normal. 95, yeah. So I was like, oh, is that why I feel like garbage all the time? So basically, so what happens is like, sometimes it's a mental thing. Sometimes it's a physical thing. So sometimes when you're asleep, your throat goes like, good night. And it just like, and your shit closes up. and then it's hard for you to breathe. So your regular like little night sleep isn't getting through, because it's smushed down. And then sometimes it's like a mental thing where your body just doesn't, So they'll just figure all that shit out. And then now I can't sleep without it. Like if we're on a trip, like I need it. Like it's so nice. And it's basically just constantly just pushing air in. So it forces that airway to be open. Like it's just helping you like
breathe,
pushing shit in your body.
Keeps you alive.
Yeah.
I begged the ex-boyfriend to do it. I begged him to do it.
Yeah. And if people that don't want to do it, like fuck you.
Yeah,
like,
there's nothing you can do. And my sleep was
you're gonna
valuable.
die. Oh, and like what's sad is like one of my friends' partner died 6 months ago or something like that. And I don't know. I guess like they were all asking him to get a sleep study and he wouldn't do it. And then he ended up passing away for complications because of like,
something they could have caught maybe if he would have gone into that sleep study.
I think they even had like an intervention with him and were like, please, please, please. And then like he ended up passing away. It's really sad.
Yeah.
So like they're finding out you are more susceptible to strokes, heart disease, Alzheimer. Like there's so many health things that you're like now more at risk of having just because you're not getting good sleep. If your body never gets to that REM sleep or never just gets
if you
rest,
can't ever tap in.
Like what the fuck's the point? Like why work out? Like why are you going to the gym? Because your body ain't going to be repairing itself. Why even eat good? Why even anything? So go get a fucking sleep study, you bitch.
Yeah. Especially if you have people in your life that are asking you, like value them enough. Like that was me. Like he was supposed to be my forever person. And I was like, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to smother you in your sleep because you snore so loud. And I actually would have it timed to where I would fall asleep when he was gasping for air. So then eventually every 15 minutes when he would stop snoring and the cycle would start over, that would be my moment where I could fall asleep. It was really sad.
And I feel bad because I've slept with people before and they're just like, dude, your fucking snoring is so bad. And it would be good some days, bad some days. And I have really bad allergies. So like it just whatever. And I feel bad. And like it took me a while because I didn't really understand what to do. And my friends basically broke it down for me, the ones I went to Mexico. My other friend had one. So I was like, okay, I'll go get it. And then it ended up being better. But you're now depriving yourself of sleep and your partner or whatever of sleep. Right. And then you're a cranky ass bitch all the time.
Yeah. And you wonder why you're upset all the time and you can't get REM
like
sleep.
I have like bags under my eyes all the time. And they make travel ones you can take on trips with you. They're little tiny things. Those aren't usually covered under insurance, but if you're like travel around all the time, you can get like a little travel one. You pay for it, but like a lot of options out there. I had a couple friends at work that I talked to about CPAP. So I was like, fucking get one. It's like, just do the appointments and you will slowly get to that point where you'll find out if you need one or not. And if you need it, then you need it. And then just use it. Shrug. And then you just got to put in effort to like try. Because most people are like, oh, I keep taking it off. Mask. Even my brother, I'm trying to get him to do a sleep study. Can't get him to do it. I mean, we're twins. So I mean, like, how do you not snore?
I mean, I snored until I got my tonsils taken out, and that was a godsend.
Yeah.
Our dad's tonsils were so large, and I know that we got this problem for him because our mom would make him sleep on the couch because he would it would be so bad, and she could never sleep. Although I've heard a lot of people are more, a little more mentally in tune with like loving your partner, but you guys sleep in separate beds. Like I've seen that. I know that there are a couple things where it's
people
like,
want their space,
or with respect to like that save people's marriages. Like, oh, we're gonna get a divorce, and it's like, no, homie just needs to sleep in his own room so I can sleep, so he can sleep, so we can have our space, but we still love each other. And it's like you got to do what's right for your relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I think I like when you get into a relationship, everyone has these ideas that you're like have to sleep together in the same bed, and you should be spooning all night long, and then if somebody needs to sleep in another room because whatever, then that's cool. And then some people aren't okay with that. They're like, yo, I need you in the bed with me because that's just what I need. So sleep is weird, but once you get good sleep, it's
you
like,
can't go back.
This is so nice.
Well, and I'm the one who always talked about having like the sleep anxiety, like sleeping next to people. And so it was like during the pandemic, there was a guy that I would go see on occasion when he would text me at like 3 a.m. But like, maybe we talk about this motherfucker calling me over. He's like, you get that fucking 3 o'clock, you up text. And I'm like, yep, I'll be there in 15. And there was one time I went over where he fell asleep before I got there. So then he wouldn't answer his calls, and then I had to go home. Luckily, it was like a 5-minute drive, right? He just lived across the bridge for me, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But there was the time that I went, and I got there at like 3:30 in the morning. We snuggled, we talked about him, we talked about how he wanted to move away, we talked about like all this emotional stuff. And then he like is like, I'm sleepy, let's go to bed. And I was like, bitch, we didn't fuck. Like, it's 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. You get up for work at 6:30. You want me to just fucking sleep with you for an hour? And he's like, yeah, I'm tired. And I remember calling you and being fucking so upset when I left. And you told me what?
I can't remember.
That I went for an emotional booty call.
Oh my God, I did.
I was there for an emotional booty call, and I was fucking pissed. I was pissed.
Well, okay.
I wanted that dick. I went over that you up text. It was not, hey, are you up? I want to discuss my feelings.
Because, like, look, if you want me to come over and cuddle, that's cool. But like, I'm in my jammies. I'm on the couch, or I got out of bed.
Yeah.
Like, I've gone like over to people's houses thinking we're gonna fuck, and then like we don't fuck, and I'm just like, I would have made a better decision because like I'm either working on music or artwork or whatever.
Something that you've pulled me away from.
And then when you're like, oh, come get this dick, I'm like, okay. And then if we don't fuck for like not a good reason, you know what I mean? Just like you just wanted to talk all night, I'm like, okay, well, like I could have just jacked off at home.
An emotional booty call also needs consent.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was so mad. I was so fucking mad.
Funny.
And that was the guy that I dated where every time he pissed me off, I would put an eye roll emoji at the end of his name. I think he's got like 7 or 8 now. I don't even think I
So it's just adding up.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. Yep. That's so good.
So then it was like 4, then it was 5, and then I was like, fuck this motherfucker. And then it was 6 one day, and I was just like, okay, I gotta get my shit together.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, he's made a podcast appearance before. We've talked about him, but I just remember that emotional booty call and like laying next to him and just. And then finally I rolled over and I was like, I'm leaving. And I put my shoes on and just fucking left. I was like, bitch, you got me fucked up.
No, this dude I used to hang out with a lot would do that. And like, I would just like, I'd go over there and we, you know, and then like nothing would happen. And then he'd be like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. And I'm just like, why the fuck did you ask me to come over here so we could watch 30 minutes of a show?
Right.
Like I stay up late normally and you're going to bed at like 9, 10 o'clock. And like I douched my asshole out and now I'm here. And like, why am I here with a clean asshole?
Right.
That shit takes like 30 minutes sometimes.
That's like a girl. The meme is, you know, the girl has got shaving cream from her hairline down to her fucking toenail bed.
Yeah.
And she's shaving because, you know, she's like, oh, I'm just, you know, we're not going to have sex, but you're still shaving because you don't fucking know if, you know, what's going to happen.
I think maybe the next episode we'll talk about douching.
Ooh.
I think that'll be fun. We'll save that. I don't want to give out too much knowledge in one episode.
The little morsel.
But yeah, like, so, you know, like you don't want to go over to somebody's place. If there's a potential chance you might be fucking, you don't want to have anything queued up in there. And even if you're like, oh, let me go to the bathroom real quick.
You said queued up in there, not cute up in there. I was like, oh, what's cute?
Well, we want it to be cute up in there. But
we don't want anything. You don't want anything waiting in the queue.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Yuck.
You know what I mean? And yes, it's a butthole. So like, it's basically just gambling. You could get as good as you want it, and you get like, hey, you're like, I thought I got rid of everything.
Well, I think the biggest thing just has to do with like comfortability. Yeah. And like a big thing with girls too is like, you know, you talk about oral sex, and there's a lot of girls who don't feel comfortable letting a guy eat them out because they're like, oh, I smell or whatever, this or that. As a girl, you can smell your own fragrance. You can smell your own pheromone, your own scent way more than anyone else can. So one, ask your homies. Like I remember working at a job
ask your homies.
No, I'm being
Hi,
serious.
with you.
I'm being serious. There was a girl one day that I worked with, and she was like, I know this is too much information, but some days I just feel like I can smell myself more than other days.
Right.
And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, my girl parts. And I was like, oh. And I was like, I didn't smell her coochie, but
Right,
I was
right,
like,
right.
I was like, I can't smell you. And I have a really like keen
Yeah,
sense of
yeah.
smell. I was like, I would tell you.
Right, right.
Right. But girls have this misconception that like they stink or whatever, or like whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
I think there's a big
you
stigma
got
with
folds and
girls
flaps and
yeah,
things.
yeah.
And I mean, I can't relate. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I need your face in this. Like, this is what needs to happen. Like, please. But girls get really weird about it. And
Yeah.
the thing is, you have to be relaxed. You can't be like getting eaten out as a girl and just being like, ugh, because
Yeah.
there's no point. You're
right,
fucking
right.
what is it lost up the head fucking stream without a paddle at that
Yeah.
point. Like there's no point. Like in order for you to get any sensation, like you have to be relaxed and comfortable and like
Right.
feeling good. So when it's kind of like when it comes to your partner, like I remember like a girl I work with came up to me and she was like, I thought about you last night. My boyfriend went down on me and I was like, Alexa's gonna be so proud of me. And I was like, yes, I am.
Think about me.
Yes.
Think about
Not
me.
even. I just was like, yes, get that pussy eaten because
Yeah.
it's boys like it. That's what boys are gross and weird and yucky. And like boys like weird things. I don't know why. Certain boys, maybe I shouldn't say boys, certain men love to eat a girl out. I've heard that a girl is basically a fountain of youth. So old wives' tales would say that that's why guys like to eat girls out because it keeps them young. Because you're getting all of my good stuff that's coming from like good feelings. Because I also know it's the same thing like with guys cum. Like there's potassium in it. There are things that girls can get it that benefit a girl. Because, you know,
I mean,
it's delicious. Depending.
yeah, but you could get the same. You just eat a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I mean, like,
Well, yeah, true.
you know, you're getting a little spoonful of medicine. You know, oh wow, I feel great. I don't know about the fountain of youth thing. I think like having sex and just enjoying yourself makes you youthful. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people, like, you know, all these like religious people are like, don't fuck and don't eat a bitch out. Don't.
You know what I've noticed? My Pete Davidson's ass has gotten bigger, and I have thought it's because I've been feeding him, and I like send him to work with lunch, or I make him dinner, whatever. This motherfucker, I was like, your butt's getting big, and I like poked it or whatever, and he goes, yeah, because we fuck so much, and I was like,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
And he was like, if we fuck 2 to 3 times a day, he's like, I'm hip thrusting for
Oh,
like
yeah.
a couple hours, and I was like, your ass is getting bigger because we're fucking. I was like, you're welcome. You're welcome. Not just the rice. I always really enjoy the couples that post the social media stuff where it's like, she's training legs. I'm training back. We're going to go home and do cardio together. And the girl's like, wink. And you're like,
That's funny. I don't train shit. I'm very flexible.
gross. That's so gross. I'm flexible, but that's fucking gross, bitch.
Yeah, when I go to the gym, I just stretch. No cardio for me.
How do you work on stretching your butthole?
Stretching my butthole like this? No, I'm just kidding.
Kegels?
Yeah. No, like not. Okay, let me back up. I'm not. Oh my God. I love this. I love it. I just meant my legs are flexible.
Oh, you didn't mean your butthole was flexible?
Well, that too.
Sorry.
My butthole is stretchy.
I'm like, how do you stretch your butthole at the gym?
No, I'm like, I remember when I used to swim in high school, and like I was very flexible. Can't do the splits. I always want to do the splits. I feel like I'm too old to do splits now. I feel like I'll probably just fucking break something. But like I can put both of my feet like here, you know what I mean? Like I can like fold myself in half. It's not that hard, but I just remember like I can get really, really flexy.
Yuck.
And but I always wanted to do the splits. I had a friend in middle school, elementary school. He could do the splits, and I was super jealous. He was a man, but I was like, wow. And you know, I'm like lazy. I'll try to do it for like 3 days, and then I give up.
You gotta do some yoga.
But yeah, I don't really do too much in the bed. I just lay there. Be relaxed.
I get a lot of people that ask me about my decontamination system and how.
Oh my God.
And people laugh about the sex toys going to the. I'm a big fan of toys because, like we said, like I talked with my Pete Davidson about it when you were like talking about like hand jobs or jacking off and how like I'm basically trying to decipher what you have been doing for fucking 40 years to make this work. So I don't know if I got to go beep, 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 and then blow on it a little bit. Like, we got to have some kind of symbiotic relationship. I mean, it's the same thing. It is the same thing with a guy eating a girl out.
Yeah.
Or a guy who's fingering a girl.
Right.
Everything's different.
It's true. Yeah.
You're not fucking tapping Morse code. That's not how this works. It's like not even flipping a light switch. That ain't how this shit works.
Well, because the women clit is basically like a miniature dickhead with no shaft.
Yeah, it's like all just lumps and folds and fucking.
Yeah. So like, guys always think like, they're like, where's the clit? Like, I'm a gay man. I could probably point to it. You know what I mean? And they're like,
Here's the thing.
I just like, I'm a bro, man. Like, where is it?
You could ask.
A girl could be like, it's right fucking here. And then you go, you know what I really like is when you do this and this and this.
Yes.
Because like a guy is just like, insert penis into holes and I thrust it and they come and then I'm like, bye bitch. And then you roll over. It's like, guys, I hate this idea that guys have to just be like, me cavemen, me know how to fuck, you know, like, communicate, talk to your partner, find out what they like. You also can find out by just observing, unless they're faking it. You know what I mean? But like, you can just go like, hey, do you like that? Because like I said that one time, I like blew this guy forever, and he's like, oh, you have to go really slow. And I'm like, what the fuck? I remember, God bless this guy. He just kept telling me to slow down. And I'm like, I need to get a fucking time machine because I am going as slow as I possibly can.
Go back up in the
I'm just like, oh, slower. And I'm like, do you
want me to stop?
Do you want me to just stop and just keep the dick in my mouth? Like, yeah. But it's just weird. Everyone's got their own shit.
Oh, yeah. Pause. I brought something.
Oh, the Pop Rocks.
For you ASMR. So, Alexa would like to introduce you all. Makeup influencer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Pop Rocks.
If you find these and you are very careful, you can suck someone's dick with these in your mouth. And it is fucking, so I'm told, fantastic. So I would like to gift you these.
Thank you. Am I going to eat these on the podcast?
No, you're going to suck dick and let me know how it worked out with the fucking little crack. But see, this is interesting because there's two of you that could benefit from this.
Greg doesn't like strawberry. I guess I'll have to do it.
Sorry, bitch.
Yeah. Okay.
Greg can muster some fucking strawberry Pop Rocks for the podcast, okay?
Well, I would like to, I guess we could.
See?
We'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pop Rocks, please sponsor us.
Yes.
Popping candy. I love Pop Rocks.
Because they actually sell Pop Rocks, but not Pop. It's like an off-brand of Pop Rocks or what they sell like at porn shops. And I remember going there with a guy a long time ago and we were talking about it as a joke. And then he like really didn't want to try it. And I was like, I'm going to find a boyfriend who lets me do that. Did it. Done it several times.
Interesting.
It's funny. You just got to be careful. My one recommendation would be if you're trying Pop Rocks, less is more. Start with less because it's also very gritty. Yeah. So it's not a sandpaper fleshlight. We want to make sure it's just a popping sensation while you still got a little bit in your tongue. So basically what I would tell you to do is when you get them, put them in your cheek. So your cheek pops, but it's not in the little tongue sucking nice,
I don't
soft area.
Scrape a dick with aquarium gravel.
Yes, it's exactly that.
Yeah, I think communication is key. Try fun stuff.
Try your toys.
Try toys out, yeah.
Have a conversation. I think a lot of people are scared to have conversations like sexual, intimate things like that. Because out of the blue.
We're all raised to think that everything is so shameful. Like gay sex is shameful. And so now you have gay men that just like are hooking up and that animal instinct kicks in and like people don't want to scare somebody off or, you know, like you're hooking up with some dude and, you know, you don't want to explain something to him because, you know, you think it's so weird. If we grew up and like gay sex wasn't like demonized, people would have like normal conversations. You wouldn't have this like toxic masculinity. I was watching the video the other day, which we talked about, of the it was like a Red Sox fan or something. The dude was like, "Who's the hottest player on the team?" The dude's like, I'm not gay." And he's like, "Well, I'm not either. I'm just asking who you think the hottest guy is." The guy like couldn't even just go with it.
Couldn't even fathom.
And he was
answering
just
the
like,
question.
"Dude, I'm gonna suck you in the mouth." And it's like, this toxic masculinity needs to stop.
Yeah.
Guys, I know guys think that like you have to be this man and you got to hold up the world and shield your family. I got to be a man. Moo. And it's like, no, you don't. Fuck you. This is your grandpa's ideals and your grandpa's dad passed down this idea of what it's supposed to be a man. And God forbid you kiss a man or like, you know what I mean? Like just try out gay sex one time and you're like, it was okay. I prefer chicks. Or
how do you know if you haven't
I
tried?
like both or whatever. Like, I mean, another thing is like when you're watching porn, are you just watching a bitch finger her pussy and that's it? No, you watching dick in the pussy and you waiting for the cum shot. You are waiting for the cum shot.
Always.
I know it. You're a straight man. You are waiting to see that cum come out, bitch. Like, and you can't admit that you.
Or
like,
you're watching the cum shot compilations.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's the whole point. You trying to time it out, like, so I'm gonna jack off and come when this guy on Chatterbait comes. Like, it's just so stupid. And guys, like, hey, you got to stop clowning your friends. You know what I mean? Because I think that's a lot of it. You know, oh, if my coworkers on the force find out, or oh, people at the firehouse find out, or oh my God, people at my work find out. Like, we need to stop just all being homophobic and clowning people. You know what I mean? Step one, that. And then people should just be able to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, why does it matter to you?
It's like Bad Bunny kissed a backup dancer on, I think it was the BMAs, like MTV. And for most people that don't know, he's like Puerto Rican rapper. He's very, very successful. And he plays with gender stereotypes and like, he's great. He's a really good musician. And everyone was like, oh, he's queer baiting. And it's like, let the man kiss a man. He doesn't have to be gay.
Right.
He could be, he could
People
just
need these labels.
like, he could just be like, let me just try this out. Or he could be like, let me make a statement. Or he could be like, hey, I might fuck guys. Or maybe I just make out with guys. Like, everybody's got an opinion and like, he's doing it obviously to have so we can have the conversation. But this also might be him kind of being, maybe he is bisexual and this is his way of kind of telling people. Or maybe he's just like, this is what I like to do. I don't have a label for it. But we're so like, you have to like, do you have a dick in your butt? Okay, check. Do you put dick in butt? Okay, check. Okay, you're gay. You can do these things. You know, like there's people that are asexual that don't have sex at all.
Right.
And like, but you could be a gay man that's asexual. You know what I mean? Like there's all these different things. And we're like, no, you can't do this. It was like when Britney Spears and Madonna kissed and it was like, oh my God.
Right.
Oh, what does this mean? Who fucking cares? Let people kiss whoever they want. It's
Well,
a
she
fucking
also
kiss.
kissed Christina Aguilera too, but no one ever talks about
I feel
that.
bad about that because
Everyone talks
like,
about the Britney Spears, Madonna,
was
but
the
like
thing.
Madonna also kissed Christina Aguilera first, and then kissed Britney Spears, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, her and Britney Spears."
Oh,
Like
the
Christina
kiss.
Aguilera was two girls.
Yeah.
She kissed the one on the right and the one on the left, and everyone just remembers Britney Spears. I'm like, damn.
Well, it's also the media. They're creating these narratives. I mean, everything's all like, you know, like done for specific reason. But I just find it weird that like there's so many labels.
Right.
Just let a guy, and also like he could be just, again, I don't want to speak for him. He could be just figuring out what he likes.
Right.
And we're sitting there going, you have to be gay or not gay. And don't do that on stage because that makes gay people feel bad. And you're queer baiting. And it's like a dude, like he sells out stadiums. His tickets are like $700. It's insane.
Yeah. People love Bad Bunny. He's great.
He paints his nails. He wears dresses. Like what he's doing for culture, Puerto Rican culture, just all the cultures. Because in like those countries, it's still, people want to like kill people for being gay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so now you have this successful person in this elevated role that is like, I don't give a fuck. I'll paint my nails. I'll wear a dress. I don't give a fuck. I'll kiss a dude. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And it's people are growing up now seeing that going like, wow, fuck all that old shit I've been taught. I like this motherfucker. I'm gonna do that.
Right.
And that's beautiful. And then we're like, no, but you didn't check
For
this
the
box
culture.
off
Yeah.
and you're making gay people sad. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. If you want to kiss somebody, cool. There's the same thing with rappers. There's a whole thing. Is so-and-so gay? Is this rapper gay? Oh, you got to come out and be on a radio show and they'll be like, you gay? Oh, you gay? And it's like, leave these people alone. Let them come out when they want to come out.
On their own time. Yeah. We've talked about that.
Yeah, it takes time. It took me many years. I came out when I was 21. Some people come out when they're 40, in their late 20. Everyone's on their own trajectory. And basically, you meet people or you get to a point where you're like, this is me. You're stripping away all the facades, all the things that you've created and told you're supposed to be. And then you flower into the person. You're like, okay, I'm this now. You know, you can't pull a cake out of the oven too early and then be like, are you cake? Like, not yet, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, people got to be ready when they're ready. And we have to stop forcing people and like, because who's gonna be like, they're like, are you gay? And be like, no, I'm not gay. I don't think I'm gay. I was so conflicted. Like, it was tough because I'm like, oh, I like sucking dick. But like, I remember I would like look at myself in the rearview mirror and driving home and be like having a conversation, be like
who
am I
am I?
gay? Am I not? I'm like, well, I don't like eating pussy out or hanging out with chicks.
Right.
I really like sucking dick, but like, I kind of want to have a family. And then you're just like, all this stuff is going on in your head. And eventually you get to a point where you're like, this is me. I'm this. And that could be whatever you want to be. That could be, I'm a furry and I like dressing up like this, or I'm into this, or I like people tying me up. You know what I mean? Like,
or you want to wear cat ears and you got a butt plug with a tail on it that you walk around that hangs out of your skirt. And
also everybody's allowed to like dabble.
Right.
We're like, no, you're gay. You said you were gay. You have to be gay. Or no, oh, now you're bi. What? Like, how many times have you changed your outfit choices and your style? Like, it changes all the time. And with sexuality, it's just this open, whatever you want it to be. So, Bad Bunny, I applaud you. But yeah, there's a lot of people influenced by these people. And when they're doing good things, just let them. Don't hinder them, you know.
I know Harry Styles is another one who is more recent. I think that's something really important to also say is that these are two examples of people in the last 6 months that have been doing this. You have had people that are gender fluid, people who have been playing with gender for fucking decades.
Forever, yeah.
And so we have to commend these people like Harry Styles who are doing this. However, they are not the ones that were the pave makers for this. It is so lovely that Harry Styles is on the front of magazines in dresses and doing all of this gender play, which is lovely. However, we have to look at our history and people who came before them and also know that, like, when we talked about Marsha P. Johnson, like, that's one of those things where it's like they were able to do that.
Right.
And now we're able to do this, and Harry Styles is able to wear this dress and people not kill him.
Right.
Because people before him have kind of sort of chipped away at that a little bit. So we have to look back at history. I think it's really important.
Madonna, I mean, people want to shit on her, but like she did so much for gay. And I mean, there's like, it's insane. Like what these, George Michael, like all these people used to do.
Yeah.
All these things. A lot of older people know what it's like back in the 80s with AIDS. But a lot of younger people don't really know. They're so disconnected from it. And like, it was insane. Like people were just dying and like so many artists and musicians, like they're just gone and nobody knew what was happening. And then the government wasn't involved and like, we're still recovering from that. And now gays are like dirty and gross. And, you know, everyone thinks that, you know, AIDS, you know, oh God, gay people just have AIDS. And it's like, it's crazy. And so there's a lot of activism, a lot of people that took risks, you know, that like came out back then. Like, that's insane. Like everybody wanted gays to die. And people were out there just like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Even like Freddie Mercury, you know, like there's so many I can't even name, but like, they're just like, I'm gay, fucking deal with it. Yeah. Fuck off. And like, that's wild because like so many people just hate, they do now, but like back then there was no like TikTok, whatever. Like,
I think the biggest eye-opening thing for me with self-reflection where I knew I needed to mind my own fucking business was when people stopped telling you what kind of transition surgery they're having, right?
Oh, yeah.
Am I having a top surgery?
Right.
Are you having a bottom surgery? Right. And so when people were posting on their social medias, I'm having a gender affirming surgery.
Right.
My brain immediately went, oh, which way are you transitioning?
Right.
Bing, none of my fucking business.
Yeah.
None of my business. Yeah. Why? I'm not dating you. You're not my brother. You're not my sister. You're not my best friend. Right. You are a human being that is asking for support. You are giving me all of the information I already need to know.
Yep.
Hey, can you help me with, or hey, I am going through this gender affirming surgery.
Right.
Period. Yep. Point blank, period. I don't need to know what it's for. I shouldn't be asking you what it's for.
That's true.
It is none of my fucking business. And that was the biggest eye-opening thing for myself. And you're gay. I've been around you my whole fucking life. I feel very progressive. I feel very much like an activist. I feel very much like an ally.
Right.
In that moment, I was like, oh, I'm the problem.
Well,
I'm the problem
I mean,
because it's none of my business. I want to support you and recognize you as a human. If we were besties, I would know. If I needed to know, I would know.
But I think that just society, well, I think Americans feel like we are entitled to whatever we want.
It's true.
And, we're quarter Japanese. We got a lot of different stuff in us, but like, I want to say white people will just touch black people's hair. They'll just touch your tattoos. They think that like everything is there for them, and it's Christianity. It's all this stuff where like, here, this land is for you. Everything is for you to eat and have apples and oranges and whatever. Like everything is for you. The world is yours to conquer. Like that's what we think. But also we are descendants of conquerors and people that have murdered, like the people that are alive now. I mean, unless you live in the middle of nowhere, like the people that are on your land were like, hey, we got to get these motherfuckers out of here and stab. And like, then you have kids and like, oh, we got to get more of these people out of here, stab. So like, it's ingrained in us to think like that.
The gentrification is ingrained in us. Yeah.
But in America, we've literally just like gotten rid of a whole group of people. And we just are like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. And then like when it comes to knowledge and gender affirming surgeries, and people are like, well, what's your genital? Are you getting your dick cut off or are you getting your boobies cut out? Like, I'd like to know. And then it's like, you have to let these people know like, hey, that's not appropriate. And that's what all this stuff is like, not appropriate. And why people get really upset because they're like, but I'm allowed to say what I want to say. And I'm allowed to ask every question. And when they don't, they get upset. And it's like, but you're not. You have to be respectful.
Correct.
And I learned that. I mean, at my job, there's all sorts of things where it's like, oh, okay, they're non-binary or they're this or they're this. And you just have to kind of like train your brain to just say the right things. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand why it's so complicated, even like with the pronouns. Oh, pronoun, blah, blah. Everyone gets so upset. And it's like, it's not that fucking hard.
You know what's also not hard? Asking.
You
can ask.
Yeah.
You can ask. Yeah. I can tell you every single person, friend, coworker that I have that is either non-binary or refers to themselves as they, them. They are happy to tell you.
Right.
I have a coworker who's they, them. I asked them, what are your partner's pronouns?
Right.
Oh, my partner goes by they, them also. Great. Right. Now I feel like we're on the same page and I'm not making assumptions. Yep. It's so easy. Yep. You can ask someone. It's
really not that hard. And like everyone gets so confused about like the they, them, the pronouns and stuff. And like for me, we are told that it's man, woman,
boy and girl,
1-0. Like it's binary. It's like this or this. Mm-hmm. And we are just told that it's that's it. There's no check this box. Do you like me? Yes, no, maybe. There's no maybe. It's just pick one of these. And like people that are non-binary, gender fluid, whatever, they're just like, I just don't want to check a box.
Right.
I don't even give a fuck about the boxes.
Right.
I'm not there. I'm a maybe, I'm a whatever. Like I don't want to take your test. That's what they're saying.
Right.
And we're like, no, but take it. Check the box. And they're like, I'm not even going to that's your shit. that you've been told that people need to do this or this, have that. I'm not even going to pick up a fucking pencil.
Correct.
That's it. But we're like, but you have to, because my grandpa told my dad and my dad told me. You got to, because what they told me to, like, I have to carry on what my grandpa told my dad. That's my burden now.
I just imagine.
Fuck your grandpa.
I just imagine, like, if you guys listening to the podcast have not watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, you got to watch it, because my brain for everything literally thinks about in the 3rd season when Aang is in the Fire Nation at the school and they're teaching him all this wrong ass shit. And Aang's like, 100 years ago, actually it was this and this. And they're like, nope, you're wrong. And he was like, but I was there. And he's like, so.
Bitch, real quick, I thought you were talking about the James Cameron Avatar.
No, bitch.
And for a second I was like, where the fuck is she going with this?
No, I'm talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender that came out in fucking 2000 with Aang, who's got the blue arrow.
It's so good.
Everyone needs to watch it.
You have to watch.
Because it is, yes, it's a cartoon. Yes, it was done by Nickelodeon, but like, you learn so much about existence, compassion, care. It's not a normal cartoon.
It is very well
it's
done.
Like it is an amazing show. I named my dog after it. Like it's an amazing show. If you have not watched it, it would be fun if you have kids. Watch it with your kids. It's a very cool start to finish triumph journey of like this little kid learning how to be an adult and navigating an adult world. I always think about how we could basically be completely lied to about everything that has happened.
Yeah.
And I don't want to I don't want to discredit history. None of us were fucking there 400 years ago. None of us were there, right? So we have these textbooks. What of these textbooks am I learning that is whitewashed, right? I don't want to learn whitewash history. I want to learn history. Actually, better yet, in high school, teach me how to change my oil, teach me how to do my taxes, teach me how to fucking balance my checkbook.
We learned about Juneteenth. There was the show The Watchmen that got kind of a, I don't want to say reboot, but they basically kind of redid it. And it centered around Juneteenth. And I remember watching it, I was like, what the fuck? And then they were like, oh, sorry, guys. I forgot. We did have that. We didn't teach it to y'all. And everyone was like, wait, what? We bombed these black village, like these cities? They're like, oh, wait, hold on. Let me check. It's got to been in here somewhere. Flip, 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 flip. Oh, whoops. You know what happened was those pages, I took the book to my friend's house. And he actually, sorry, guys. We left out Juneteenth and this and this and this. Whoopsies. Like it's wild.
I live in a constant state of feeling like Aang at the Fire Nation school where they are teaching him all of this whitewash shit. And I'm like, what do I need to know? What are you not telling me that I need to know?
And it's funny too, because everyone does all these like conspiracies and they're so easily like, oh, well, what are they not telling you? But there's like actual shit that they're like not telling us about.
Legitimately, it's not a conspiracy. And
and then even like they rounded up all the Japanese people, put them into camps. There's like all these things that people like don't know.
You talk about Juneteenth, you talk about the Tulsa Race Massacre. Yeah. Like there are some crazy things that have happened in history that like,
my
favorite murder, I've learned so much from that podcast, and I hate to keep name dropping, but
it's good.
I just remember listening to them talk because we lived in Tulsa.
Yep.
I had not a clue.
Yeah,
not
I had
a fucking
no idea.
clue.
Yeah, we lived there for 2 years.
Tulsa was black families were doing so well that motherfuckers came in and like lit shit on fire and
bombed.
Like burned the whole town, and you're just like,
apparently it's the only time we've actually bombed our own country.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then the same thing with Central Park. Central Park in New York. Look it up, motherfuckers. Central Park in New York used to be a very wealthy black area. And you know what they did? They came in and they took it all and they put some trees that we walk in. Look that shit up. I promise. I'm not fucking kidding. Google it, bitch.
Okay. We'll look that up. Because, again, in America, they want people to be sick and uneducated. We could have free healthcare if we wanted. If we could, why do we have free healthcare? Every other country's got it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry, but look, so we crunch the numbers and we can't. Sorry, guys. these healthcare insurance companies are paying millions and millions of dollars to people that make these laws, and they lobby and all this stuff.
The way they are.
Keep it. Like, oh, okay, yeah, all these people in these insurance companies might lose their jobs, but like, I have to go, like, my medical shit is so fucking expensive for my infusions, for my medication. And like, when people bring it up, they're like, oh, death panel. I remember my friend was like, he's like, if you do free healthcare, you have to wait months and months and months to see a doctor. And then there's death panels and they decide whether you live or die. And I'm like, damn, bitch, I'd love a death panel. I ain't got nobody now. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody, you gonna have 8 people talk about me? Sign me up. Because I ain't even getting to a point to even talk to no doctors right now. Mm-hmm. And so they spew out all these ridiculous things. Oh, I don't want to wait 2 months if I have to go. But like when you had to get a COVID shot, you just went down and got it. That was paid for. You know what I mean? Like when you're sick, people are like, well, I can't afford to go to the doctor.
Right.
How is that a thing? Like that's insane. And we're just okay with that.
Right.
You know, but if you have to go to the ER, you can go and get whatever care you need if you absolutely have to. But some people are like, I'm not getting an ambulance. You know what I mean?
I don't have ambulance money.
Yeah.
They say that people now are calling Ubers and Lyfts to take them to the hospital instead of an ambulance because like, people can literally not fucking afford it.
Yeah.
When my best friend got in a fucking almost fatal car accident, she refused to get in the ambulance. She refused, didn't have health insurance. She's like, I can't do it. And she made her best friend drive her.
That's
they had her locked in and she was like, you cannot take me in this. I do not have $20,000 to pay you. Granted, she got hit in the car accident. She refused. Right. She was super delirious. But the fact that like we can't have care and we have to turn down care because like I can't pay the bill, that's fucking ridiculous.
Well, and the other thing is like, okay, so you know, I have people that talk about these death panels, and even then, you have the government involved. So when I need to get medication, my doctor goes, Ryan needs this thing, and then they kick it off to my insurance company, and some bitch is there going, no. Who is this? It ain't a doctor.
Right.
It ain't nobody.
Susan up in
it ain't
fucking...
It ain't nobody. Yes. Some bitch is there going, nope. We're going to need more info on that. Nope. And like, they didn't go to school for a hell of a long time. They're just some person. How does that make sense? Americans could have it if we wanted it. But we're told we can't have it.
Right. And
we can send money to other countries. We can bail this out, bail that out, billions. Everybody get billions except for us who are doing the work. And we're doing the work to keep our country moving and working.
Yes.
We're up making all the food and making sure the roads work and doing all the things. And we're told, sorry, guys, we crunched the numbers. We can't. Sorry. But we could have it.
Right.
They could figure it out. But the people that are imagine if you were making like $1 billion a year and we're like, oh, hey, they're going to switch the healthcare system. So you're not going to make that much. You'd be like, oh, the fuck I'm not. I'm going to peel off 200 million. You sprinkle this into the motherfuckers making them laws so I can keep getting my 1 billion.
Correct.
Figure it out. How many more millions do you need? 200 million? Go ahead. Because I get $1 billion every year.
Right. Gross.
You know what I mean?
So gross.
And then they lie and they do all the things that they need to do.
I remember one time Mom was talking about how much a bag of her, basically the chemical that was killing her.
Oh, yeah.
The chemo. Yeah. And she was like, it's like $54,000 for one fucking bag.
AOC was just doing a thing on Truvada, which is the drug that helps prevent HIV. And there was a thing she was kind of grilling this dude. She's like, it's $8 in this other country, Australia, New Zealand or whatever. Why is it $2,000? It's $2,000. It's insane. It's $2,000.
Fuck?
So here's the thing. Insurance companies, they charge $2,000 because insurance companies will pay the $2,000 to Gilead, whatever, the people that make it. So they charge all this money because every pop $2,000 or $2,000.
Right. They're making all that overhead.
They're getting $2,000 and they don't give a fuck if this person can't get it. And so that's why they don't charge $8. There's like insulin and shit like that. Like people need this stuff and it's for prevention or whatever. And then they're making a hell of money. Watch her thing. I haven't fact checked anything again. It's just some shit I saw on the internet.
Yeah.
But she's breaking down like public funded trials, the public paid for this and paid for this, paid for this, paid for this. Like they didn't do shit. They just made the shit, whatever. And so now they're asking like, yo, why is this $2,000 and not $8? And like, oh, the patent.
Yikes.
But that's all the medications. It's insane.
That's so sad.
We shouldn't have to like struggle.
Right.
We're working, regardless if you're working or not. Like my healthcare is tied to my job. So if I don't work and I don't have a partner, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I
literally.
am screwed.
Literally.
Yes, I can get some medical assistance for my medication.
I mean, it's
but the bitch that had to put the shit on my arm, or the doctor appointments where they have to do all these tests on me, that shit ain't covered.
It's blasphemous.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with mom about how much her chemo costs, and she's like, I'm paying $54,000 for a bag that's literally killing me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. And I basically get infusion, which is like a chemo stuff that they figured out works better for arthritis than just for chemo. And like I've gotten the bills and I'm just like, yo, it's so expensive. But they know every time they're just getting
And it's like I shouldn't have to find a TikTok profile that's got some hack on a hospital bill.
Yeah.
In order to help me get my
Where
hospital bill
they're
lower.
like, oh, tell them this. I'm like,
tell them this, and that you know about code 14-45-2BC, where you can get your fair health. This guy literally showed me, and I wish I knew his account, but he talked about what his medical bill was for his kids being born, and then like the
itemized
cost. It was a comparison, and he was saying if you call this number, they'll drop your bill down and they'll give you like the lower cost just because that's what it's supposed to cost.
Yeah.
I've heard asking for an itemized bill at your hospital is very important also. I've heard that your bill can go down just by asking for an itemized bill.
Well, the other thing, one of my friends is an anesthesiologist, and he was telling me because school to be a doctor or whatever is so expensive, they have to charge you all this money to pay the people to do the shit so they can pay off their debt. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yes, doctors are like, oh, they make all this money. But like when you get out of school, you are fucked.
Yeah.
And so you get all this money coming in from these surgeries and whatever. But like that starts with our healthcare system.
Correct.
So, I mean, it's like all these layers of things. Like college should be free. College should be free. What the fuck?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe in Japan, you pay for high school and then college is free.
Yeah.
You pay for whatever high school you want to go to that kind of gets you in that direction you want to be in. And then when you go to college, that shit's free.
Yeah. Like anything.
My biggest thing is, I'm sorry, I don't think professional athletes should be paid more than our teachers.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. The fact that you have professional athletes that are like sponsoring schools or sponsoring teachers, love that. What the fuck are we doing?
We strip all the schools of art and music and all these programs and like.
Well, that was one thing they talked about Prince. They found out after Prince passed away that he made anonymous donations at almost every fucking city he went to.
Oh, wow.
Yep. In Portland was a big one. Every time Prince came to Portland, he was donating to music foundations at all of these schools, and he was donating all of this money, and we only found out about once Prince died. He didn't do it for like accolades because he was a fucking kid from a little small town.
Right.
And look at everything he did.
But then like everybody's got to do a GoFundMe for some fucking medical shit.
Right.
And that's not fair. I mean, and it really only takes one shitty thing to happen.
Yeah, one bad car accident.
One thing you like for me, my arthritis gets so bad that I can barely work sometimes. And if I don't have a job that can help me call out or be gone, I'm fucked.
Right.
And then you miss a couple days of work. Now you're homeless. Now this and that. And like now your whole shit's fucked up. And we see homeless people. I don't want to get on a crazy tangent, but like we always see homeless people and we're like, meh, probably drugs.
Well, in Portland especially, I think there's a lot of
it's drugs.
harsh
They fucked
critic.
up. And my thing with homelessness is like, how can we look at people on the street and we are just okay with it? I don't understand it. Everybody sees homeless people and we're like, whatever. How as a society are we okay with people living on the street? I just don't understand. We should not be okay with that. We shouldn't see people and go like, you probably fucked up on drugs. So that's what you get. Sorry. Here's some fucking cans. Fuck you. I didn't screw up, but you did. So like we should be getting people health care that they need, offering services. People should be able to go live in these homes where they can be monitored. Because a lot of people, with mental issues, they're like, okay, we got you in this program and blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. Well, you're done now. Boop. And they kick you out on the street and you're like,
There's no stability.
There's
There's no
nothing.
accountability.
you know, so then you
absolutely.
just spiral back and then you're just back in the system again. And like, it's not fair. We need to have places where they can be, they can live, because a lot of people are good if they can be in these places,
Right. Be
and then they can go
monitored
work and
right.
do things, and then they can come back, and then, but like when you just push somebody out on the street, they're not going to just be fine.
Right.
And it's just wild. So again, we're just two people on a podcast sitting in a basement, but hopefully people like just start kind of opening their minds up. Like, this shit is possible.
I feel like we should change this podcast to be called like, did you motherfucking know this?
Did you know? Yeah. Well, and just people shouldn't have to do a goddamn GoFundMe to pay for medical shit.
Yeah.
It's not right. So now everybody is pooling our money together. Like, we're already paying taxes.
Right.
We're already paying all this money. You're taking all this shit out of my paycheck. That's not enough for our government. How much more do you need to take out of my paycheck? I have to now take my paycheck and I have to dole out money to people to get the things when everybody should just be paying, and then we just have free healthcare.
Yeah. You're
But
not
that
wrong.
also starts with companies having to pay their fair share of taxes. And that would mean more money coming in. It's a whole weird system. So yeah, that's our rant about why America is fucked.
So if by chance this podcast has made it to anyone who's not in America, please write in.
Yeah,
and,
please write in. I like the beginning of the podcast. We were talking about pooping our pants.
And now we're talking about free healthcare for
Free
all.
healthcare. Yeah. I get pretty upset because like I have dealt with my arthritis stuff my entire life. And so it's always something I think about when I get a job. And I went 3 years with no health coverage. I was working for the government, my job at the government. I was a temporary employee, so I didn't get any benefits. I was working for the government and I had no coverage at all.
Zero?
Zero.
Jesus.
I was on a waiting list to get on the Oregon Health Plan. My brother signed up. He got on immediately. And I was in a raffle, basically. They would pull names every week. And I did not get it. And then Obamacare kicked in. And Obamacare, if you had food stamps, you got fast-tracked on the Obamacare where you got Oregon Health Plan covered. And I was on food stamps at the time because it broke as fuck. And they approved me for it. And I cried in my car when it's a yellow envelope.
Yep.
I remember I got it and I cried. I was like, oh my God. I was fucked up.
Yeah.
I could barely turn my neck.
Yep.
Like my foot was swollen, like a 1.5 foot wide foot, man.
I
Like it
remember
was
that. You had to
wild.
wear wide shoes.
And like, I just remember I was like, oh my God, I can finally
Go to the
get
doctor.
medication.
Yeah.
I can finally just like, and I can't just like my brother has medication. I can't just like take his shit because like if I have any issues with my body, I'll just die because it compromises your immune system. So like, I can't even just go like, hey, anybody got any drugs I can take for my arthritis? Cause like if there's anything going on with my body that's fucked up, I'll just die. So you have to be monitored. They have to do blood work. They have to do all these tests before you can start taking arthritis medication. And like, I just waited and waited. And then like, it was wild. And then finally I got health coverage. And then people were like, well, I like that for you, but it's not for everybody. We shouldn't just have it for everybody until a motherfucker needs some shit or something. And then they go like, wait, what? I have to pay for this? I'm like, what the fuck have I been telling you? Duh. Now you have to work your stupid job. So you have your bullshit insurance. That's all. One time I pooped my pants coming home from work. And I had to go to my brother's house and I had to take a shower.
And that's how the podcast came full circle.
Yeah. I should talk about pooping my pants. I've pooped my pants several times.
We'll get there.
But this podcast's already going a little long today, so we'll save that for another day. Well, we learned a lot. We talked about... What did we talk about? It was so long ago. Snoring, CPAP. Get a sleep study.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all around health today.
Yeah. Health, cleanliness.
Yep. Get a CPAP, sleep study.
Talk to your friends.
Talk to your friends about pussies.
Things you like, things you don't like.
Just have a
More
good conversation.
communication.
Yeah, it's good. It's like, I like this. I don't like that.
Well, and if you're here for episode 19, hopefully you like the podcast.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your drive to work or your lunch break or your drive home.
Yeah, or if you've been sitting in the bathroom the whole time pooping, listening to us on your podcast, we are so honored.
We're so happy you're
choosing
here.
us. Yeah.
Well,
all right. We'll catch you next week, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, do you have to clap?
Oh, yes. Ooh.
That was a good one.